Hello. First, I want to say you you look absolutely wonderful for just the few days that you're out of surgery. I was still hating life at your point. I don't know if I am just not good with pain, or if I had a harder time than others because of other complications. My doctor did tell me that there was complications with my surgery, but he never said what. But they kept me 5 days in the hospital, and I was the most miserable person. The pain was so much. It was just unbearable. I couldn't really talk to anybody. I mean, walking. I saw you like walking through the hospital. I was like, oh gosh, I was hobbling. So you're doing great. And I think that part of my thing was I was so miserable and I had no desire for food whatsoever. Those things obviously made it easy to initially make good choices just because the desire was gone. But not everybody will go through this, but a lot of people go through a really hard time emotionally and psychologically because you realize that there was a time in your life where happiness came from what you ate, and when that is taken away from you, all of a sudden you realize you have to get that happiness, as short-lived as it is, from somewhere else, and it really, really can bother some people, and it bothered me. I thought for a while, like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to be able to eat the same, and I went through that. But anyways, I'm getting off track. Um, okay, the reason that I say that I don't agree with sugar-free popsicles. Yes, the hospital gave it to you. The hospital gave it to me as well. The hospital also gave me things that I wasn't supposed to have. And remember, just because the hospital or doctors give you things doesn't necessarily make it good, but I will agree that it's not bad for you. Okay, so why are you having the popsicle? Are you having it because it helps you get in your water for the day? Are you having it because it tastes good? Or are you having it because it's satisfying something emotionally for you? Because the thing is, a lot of doctors tell you, oh, have Crystal Light and have sugar-free Jello and have sugar-free popsicles and that sort of thing. And what I think that that does for some people, not all people, but what it does is it sets them up on a bad trend. And because they're not really dealing with the real issue at hand, is that we have constantly made bad choices. Now, all of us have had surgery for different reasons. I've always been big. My sister was small, my brothers are small. I was always the fat kid. And, I think a lot of it had to do with not being educated about food and your body, lack of exercise. And then obviously you reach a point of no return where you feel like you've lost all hope and so forth. But the thing is, we make bad choices with what we put in our mouth at some point or another. And when you have the surgery, it's going to be a tool, very briefly, to help you get back to where you can help yourself. Because it's somewhere down the road you feel like you couldn't help yourself. It's why we had the weight loss surgery. And I just say that you need to really know why you're having what you're having. And if it's because it tastes good, you're still trying to make yourself feel good with food. And I'm not saying that we can never have anything that tastes good ever again. However, I do think that we need to go through like some sort of cleansing period. We need to break out of the mold. And that's going to take some sacrifice and determination and will. And I think that it's important in those first days those first months, it took me about 3 months, almost 4 months, to where I could think that I was eating enough to look normal, and I could eat a wider variety of foods. So, if you say to yourself like these mini goals, like, okay, for the first 3 months, I'm gonna do such and such, it really helps you, and then you get to a point where it becomes your mission. It's your goal. Just like with me not having my Diet Cokes, I can't tell you how many people have this surgery and go right back to what they're doing. So the main thing is, all of these substitutes for food, bad food, we get sugar-free cookies and ice creams and cakes and muffins and, substitutes for the chips and the ketchup and, everything you can imagine. It's out there. And of course it's not bad. I ordered the sugar-free ketchup a few months ago when I first tried it. And, so, no, it's not bad. What I'm saying is, don't start off substituting all of the things which put us here in the first place and start masking the problem, because that's what it's doing. And while you have this opportunity where you're not hungry and one itsy bitsy little bite of something is going to fill you up, take advantage of that, because that honeymoon phase is going to be gone before you know it. It's gone for me. You know what I'm struggling with right now? I am hungry all day long. An hour after I eat, I feel like I'm starving. So I'm going through another battle right now, which is most people get to my phase and they do what's called grazing. And they eat like all day long little bits of food because they're hungry. They're never really reaching that satisfied feeling. And you think like, oh, I can't eat that much, so all these little bits are not going to be a big deal. Well, all the calories add up. So it becomes a battle at my point, and I'm sure for much longer out. One of my close friends is, 6 years out, and man, does she have battles. And, I'm just saying, set yourself up in the right way, whatever is good for you, whatever's going to work for you, doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work for everybody. And my way is not always going to work for you, and my goals for my pouch are not going to be your goals. But if I can help you in any way, I would love to. I know it's going to be a struggle, and you're going to be on this great high from losing the weight. And you just want to get to that year and a half, and feel like you don't need the surgery anymore to help you. You have taken back control of your life and everything that you put in your mouth. And you don't take a bite of that food to give you some sort of satisfaction. You're doing it because you need it. And so I ask that you just look at why you're having it. I don't want to be one of those people that like, don't have this and don't have that, and you're not allowed to feel good about what you eat, because obviously that's silly. Food is wonderful. Let's not kid ourselves. And I love some types of food, and I love ketchup. And you know what else? I love sour cream too. But you just have to watch everything, because sooner or later you're going to be able to get in those calories, and everything's going to add up. The sugar-free popsicles are going to add up. The fudgesicles, the cookies, the chips, they're all going to add up. And if you look at that, like right now, a couple hundred calories are not going to be anything, because let's face it, you're probably squashing out 2,000 calories a day out of your lifestyle right now. But when you reach my point, or even further, where you can once again take in like 1,500 calories a day, those chips, they matter. The extra ketchup on that piece of chicken, it matters. The 20 or 30 calories in the popsicles, not that much. But are you going to go to fudgesicles? Are you going to go to the ice cream? I can tell you exactly how much each one of them is. The other day I was shopping at the store, and I too went over to the sugar-free popsicle section. Not because I was going to get the popsicles. I was like looking at the calories. I was like, you know, the popsicle doesn't sound so good, but that fudgesicle sounds really scrumptious. And I'm like looking at the back. 120 calories for one of these things. No. So, you know, I ramble on a lot. What it comes down to is just why you're having it. Simple. Anyways, I wish you well. You look great. You look like you're feeling great. You're able to get around, and that is 100 times better than what I was. I was a mess. But that's a whole nother video. So, anyways, I hope that helped you a little bit. So, I wish you well.